Hey folks, this is Vint with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly check out Mob Factory. This is a game that you can find on Steam for about 15 bucks or so. I'm going to stress that this is a first impressions video. I haven't had a whole lot of time to play it. There's been a lot going on recently, personally. But I wanted to at least cover this game a little bit via a first impressions because I like the idea of it. I'm not really good at it yet, and I'm still trying to figure out the tactics behind it, but it's still relatively fun. So what exactly are you doing in this game? Well, it's a tower defense-like game, but you're also going to be using the materials the enemies drop in order to craft. It's kind of weird. You can put conveyor belts on the floor, in addition to like putting turrets down like you would to prevent enemies from getting from point A to point B. You can also put down conveyor belts and furnaces and different things like that. So instead of having to click on the items themselves when enemies drop them, you can have conveyor belts deliver this material automatically to your tower, the tower being the thing that you're trying to protect in the first place. But if you're able to kill these creatures between point A and point B, then, again, they'll drop materials, and then you can either click those materials or deliver them to the tower. Now, there's also a merchant that you can click on, and this will allow you to spend the material, the raw material that you're picking up in order to buy new towers, like crossbow towers. There's a slow tower, a cyclops tower, which is like more of a short-range, fast one. So different enemies will require different towers. Now, the game itself is broken up across several islands, and it's sort of like in other top-down survival games like Forager, where you're going to be spending currency in order to unlock these islands. And in order to get that currency, you have to craft it, and to get that, again, you have to kill the enemy. So it's a vicious loop. It's a bit of a grind, too. I noticed that there's a drawbridge between the two. I unlocked a total of 3 lands before I called it a day, but you can actually draw your conveyor belts across these drawbridges so that you can bring material from one island over to another island. And once I did that, I'm like, well, what else am I going to be required to do? It was, again, a bit overwhelming. What took me some time to get used to was that the enemy has a set path that they travel across, and as you build things on the map freely, that will change. Just like you would expect in a tower defense game, you're shaping the path of the enemy line. And definitely pause it while you're doing that, because it's very possible enemies will not go where you want them to, and they'll just end up hitting your tower. So yeah, don't let that happen. Definitely pause it and figure it out prior to doing that. But yeah, so like all in all, my first impressions of this were good. Again, I don't know like all the strategies yet. The furnace, for example, I have a furnace on the one island. I can make spider webs into a couple of things, but each furnace can only craft one thing at a time. So I'm constantly switching recipes. Eventually, I've unlocked things like sorters and like splitters, but splitters like only split things a certain way, so I have to redesign my islands now so that the materials go in the directions that I want them to via the splitter. So I'm guessing once I get better tools, I'll be able to go back to these previous islands and just sort of optimize them a bit. But for right now, I'm just watching the enemies throw themselves at my towers and the resources just chucking themselves into my inventory, I guess. Speaking of inventory, there's a bottom row. It's like your hotbar, but there is a grandiose inventory. If you click on the chest icon, there's a lot of material space there. So I'm a little concerned that this game will eventually overwhelm me to the point where I probably will just put it down in favor of something else. I do the same thing with Factorio all the time. Like, I played up to a certain point, and then I'm like, you know what, I have a migraine today, and then I just realized, I've got 3 other games I have to cover, and then I never get back to my previous Factorio game. I'm the same. I feel like this is going to be the same thing with me. I'm going to play it for a while, enjoy it, and then just not finish it or whatever, because just, once things get overly complicated, I'm more inclined to play something a bit easier. I didn't see anything with regards to difficulty levels. There was no way to customize my playthrough. When I clicked on new game, it just threw me into it. So, like, there's no way to turn this into a sandbox if you wanted to. There's no way to make it easier. Maybe like make the recipes 50% cheaper so that you're not grinding stuff out. It would have been nice to have some kind of custom difficulty thing going on. You also can't put different spawner types. Like, you can actually craft different spawner types, and you can't put different creature spawners on the same island. So you really have to make use of those drawbridges to move things over. I hope at some point I gain some kind of technology or the ability to like put everything on one island, so I don't have to keep dealing with the logistical puzzle of it, but it's still fun. I enjoyed it, but again, first impressions, take that for what you will. If you like tower defense games and you like Factorio and you like a logistical puzzle, then by all means check this game out. It's $20 on Steam. It just recently released, so it's like 10% off until November 16th. All right, well, this is Vince. Thanks for watching. Catch you all next time. Take care.